Welcome. Today we're looking at creating an infinite staircase, like you can see on the screen here, in Unreal Engine 5. So the idea is that you can walk this down forever and you can walk it up forever. And this can be used for a few very interesting effects and some horror games. Like you could implement a feature where you have to see if there are any changes in each floor, and if there is a change or something unusual, you just have to go back, and there are some other things you could do with that. But let's just get started with it. So we will be creating a project. I will be creating it in Unreal Engine 5.3, but it doesn't matter what you use. And I will be selecting the first person template. This should also work in third person, but it's a little more tricky because you have to get the animation to sync right, but we'll just do it in first person for now. So you don't want starter content, you don't want ray tracing, and everything else is fine, and we'll just name this endless staircase, and we can create the project now and just wait for it to open. So here my project is now created, and the first thing that we need to do is I'll just create a new level, an empty or basic one, and we just save this in a new folder. We'll call it maths, and we'll name it m_endless staircase. Now you need a few different blueprints. I'll just create a folder, and I'll just call that systems, and in there we can create a new folder and we'll call it endless portal. Now I'll just rename this. Now, in order to actually have our endless staircase, we need to create the staircase first. And for that, you can use the modeling tools. If you don't have them, you can go to Edit, Plugins, and search for modeling right there. And you can see the modeling tools editor mode. Just enable that. And then you can go up here where it says selection mode. You can go to modeling with Shift 5. So I'll create the staircase using CubeGrid. This is a pretty handy tool which allows you to generate geometry on a grid. So you can find it over here where it says CubeGrid in the create option. And we can just, without any mesh selected, because otherwise it will append it, we can just select CubeGrid, and then we can just start building our staircase. In order to use CubeGrid, you can just select a point, right? Like a point of the grid. You can use E to extrude, Q to push down, or you can do it by holding Control and left clicking on the mouse to just dragging in order to build on the grid. Now, just a bit of explanation how this thing will work once it's done. So we have the staircase here, which I'm building right now. And we're going to have 3 different layers of the staircase, right? 1, 2, and 3. And after that, it's just nothing. And up here as well. And what we will do is once the player passes through this point right here, so if he would go any further, he would see the black sky, right? We don't want that. So what we do to make this infinite, at some point here, we teleport the player down to the lower staircase at the same point, right? They're facing the same direction, and they're being teleported to the lower floor, which is exactly the same. So this makes the teleport almost seamless, because all the level, all the layout is the same. So that's why when building the staircase, you have to watch out that everything is perfectly aligned and perfectly the same. So I'm building the staircase. This staircase is exactly like 3 meters wide, and all of the stairs are. And this will make it a lot easier for you to have this be a seamless cut and not have there any transition. So just watch out when building a level that both sides of the staircase are just perfectly identical. And they're all like 3 blocks, 3 meters wide, right? As you can see here, this is 3. And then again, here, 3 for the stairs, again, 3 for the stairs, and then 1 for the center line, so that your teleport will be smooth. Also, this isn't a giant deal. If you mess this up, you can always change the cube grid afterwards, after you placed it, and then you can just fix it if there is something off. So I will just count the amount of different steps we have here. So we'll have just a length of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we'll have a platform. So each different floor will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we will just go over here. And just remember this, 1, 2, 3 is the width of this. So we'll add 1, 2, 3 here. And I'll just hide this one for now. I just delete it and just add it over here. And again, count, it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we will just again count 1, 2, 3, and the width of this staircase will be just 3 again. So we'll just count 1, 2, 3 again. And so there has to be a wall here, which I will just add, just make sure that it's even. And again, the entire width, again, 3 to the other side. So we'll just do that, 1, 2, 3. We can just pull up the walls here. Again, 1, 2, 3. And one more, just take this here. And we will add the wall as well. Just extrude all that up. And extrude all that up as well. Like that. Great. So it's about time that we just add our staircase for now. We have to check that it's exactly the same. I'll also try to ensure that, like, over here it's all the same, but we can just copy it down in a bit. So we'll just add over here, add that here as well. And we can just enable snapping and check that it's at 0, 0, 0, and we can just copy this down again with snapping enabled and maybe increase it a bit. Perfect. So as you can see, this is snapping perfectly, right? And what we can do now is we can start, or maybe I will make sure that this is the same height over here as well. Awesome. So what I will do now is I can add in the staircases, right? So that we can actually go up and down and that we can teleport later. Now, actually, I think I will just use the stairs that we have here. So I'll just click once somewhere, and we just reset all these settings here. And we can just kind of position it with snapping enabled. This is super important, right? We can just position it somewhere we like. I think I will just add it again with resetted settings. And I think I will decrease the snapping to 10. So we'll just place it. We will increase the width, and we will increase it to 300 so that it kind of fits on here perfectly. You can see that it's just perfectly on there. We'll just move it back a bit. And now we just increase the number of steps until we are up there. Awesome. And as you can see, I didn't quite, I just needed to move it back. And that's working almost perfectly, as you can see. Just need one more here. So I'll just edit. You can just go to attributes and generate the polygroups. Then you can just go to model polygroup edit, and then you can just pull that face back a bit. It's fine if it kind of intersects a bit. And this is really handy if you just right click and add it to the favorites, because then you can find it up here. And I use this a lot. Awesome. So here we have the staircase. Oh yeah, that's not perfect. I just kind of tried to get it to snap on there perfectly, because every single like detail where this isn't properly aligned will break our illusion, right, in the end. So again, go to polygroup edit, and we can just move this face back a bit. Great, so that's perfectly aligned here, and it's perfectly aligned down there. So now that we have this staircase, I'll just ensure that the pivot is somewhere where I can use it better. So we can just put it to the... that's not super useful. Yeah, we can just use this one, it's fine. And now we can just copy this one with, again, snapping enabled. I'll just leave it at 5 and just basically rotate it. And we can just move it up here, right? Just like that. And make sure it aligns perfectly. Great. So now I think again, yeah, there's something missing here. We need the steps as well for this to work. So I'll just again go to Cube Grid, and we can just add this here. And we have one floor too much, which I will remove. Now that we have this, again, we need to adjust this, of course. Have a bit high grid snapping, but it's fine. Awesome. We can just walk down. Awesome. I think we need to add this over here. So just add it over here. Great. We don't need this one actually. There we go. And that's also one floor too much. Just remove that. Oh yeah. Great. So we can just move down a bit. So what we can do is we can go to level, and we will just create a level instance here so that we can modify this later, and we can copy it down and press OK. And we can just save this into maps. We'll create a folder. We'll call this instances. And then I'll call this mi_endless staircase. Good. So now that we have the staircase, we can just copy it one up. Hope that the snapping is with the snapping again enabled, set to 100. We can copy it up once, and then we can copy it down once. Great, just by holding Alt right there. Now if we just walk down here, you can see that this looks pretty good. It's really dark down there, but don't worry, we will fix that right away. So one thing I will do in order to get this illusion to work is I will delete all the lighting that I have in the scene. Right now we can leave the exponential height fog, but we don't need any clouds or anything. Now we can edit the level again by right-clicking and going to level and edit, and now we can just place some very ugly, for now, rect lights in this level, just so that we see something, right? Again, you can disable the grid snapping for this one, and just kind of play around with the height and the width in here, just like that. And I'll decrease the intensity of it. So we can exit, and I think that's going to be enough lights because we have this level copied 3 times over each other, so I think you will see enough if you are in the center. So we can play. And oh yeah, we need to give the process volume time to adjust. I don't like this, so I just create like a post exposure, sorry. So I just create a post process volume, and I set the infinite extent to unbound, and then I can just go to exposure set the metering mode to manual and disable apply physical camera exposure. Now it's suddenly dark, so now we can increase our light strength again. And for a cool effect, we can also make it like blue. That's fine. I think we need one more light over here because it's getting really dark there and we don't want that. So I'll just grab the light from wherever it is. And then we can just copy it over here. Great. So now that we have this, we should be able to just go down there. Great. We can just go up there as well. Awesome. And it looks all the same. Now this isn't infinite yet, right? I've just exited it, but we will make it infinite in a second. Let's just create some materials for it so that it's a bit more pretty. I'll just call this folder materials assets, and then we'll make a folder materials in there. And I'll just make a master solid here, and we'll just give it some basic colors. Hold V and left click to add a parameter, and you could just name this just the base color. We'll make it like a grayish by default, or we'll make it white. Just plug that in the base color, and then we'll just select the roughness, right click, promote parameter, do the same. Actually, for a specular, we can just put like a 0.6 in there and compile that. Just hold Ctrl B to open and browse to the asset, create a material instance mi underscore, and we'll just call this, we'll just call it floor, and we'll add another, duplicate this and make one called it mi underscore walls. So the floor we can just do a bit like a blue-ish, make it darker and increase the roughness to like 0.7. And for the walls, we can just kind of like put it at a gray. And that'll also increase the roughness to 1. Or again, maybe we can just go 0.6. So now in the level, right click the level, edit, and just select the cube grid one here, and we can just put the one material on there for now. But you can see that we have it everywhere and we don't want that. So what you can do is you can just again go to the modeling section, and there is an edit materials, and we can just select that, and you can do selection mode angle filtered and just make the size a bit smaller. Now you can just select that here. That's our floor. That's about it. We can just create a new material slot here, which we already have. Select the second slot, and we can just assign active material. Now we just select the second slot. I think I canceled it. Now, just accept that for now. We can just add the walls material here, the floor material here. Oh, awesome. I just assigned it twice. Floor material. So to assign the materials, we can just select it, go to the modeling toolkit again, edit materials, and we can just selection mode all with angle tolerance, just put it to like 30, and you can just click now here, click again, and just select all the walls from this staircase, like that. And I think we have all. Yeah, it's a wall as well. And now you can just select the first slot here and assign the active material here. Accept that. Great. Exit. And now it works for all. We just have to assign it to our staircase as well. Just drag and drop it over there. And now if we save, we have some materials. Nice. So it's me from the future. We're now going to do the code of the illusion itself. So as we said, we have our two portals that are going to teleport the player back. And for this to work, we're going to be making use of the local transform of the portal. So what we're going to be doing essentially is the local transform when I'm on this point, the transform relative to the portal, it's going to be the same for this portal than for the other portal down there. And that's what we're going to be using when coding these portals. So we're just basically calculating the same position for those. Now you're going to need a portal actor. I'll already have one, but just create one for yourself. All right, so in that portal actor, once you created it, you're going to be needing a collision, which you can just add a box collision here. And because our walls, right, they are exactly 3 meters wide. No, yeah, they're exactly 3 meters wide. We are gonna make a box which is gonna be 150 in size. It's because the scaling is a bit different, then it's not just in units. No, not the size, the extent. So you're gonna make 150 by 20 by 300. Right, just like that. You should move it up so that it aligns like that. And you will see that if you drag this into the level, it will align beautifully like this. Now, for the actual code in here, what you can do is when you right-click the box, you can add an event which happens when the player overlaps with it. This is being fired whenever anything overlaps, not just the player. So what you can do out of the other actor, you can check if it's equal to the get player character. And if that's true, then you're overlapping with the player. And now we can basically teleport to the other portal. Now, what we will do is we will check the other portal is valid first. But for that, we need the other portal, which we don't have. So I'll just create a variable called it other portal. Going to be of type BP portal or portal new in my case, right? Whatever you named it. And I'm going to expose it so that you can assign it in the editor. And we'll just check if that is valid. And if it is, then we can do a set actor location of our own player, right? So of the get player character. And we'll do the location calculation in a minute. For now, we can just use the other portal's location. We'll make it perfect in a minute. For now, we can just use this. So we'll use the location of the other portal. And yeah, that's it. So to place our portals in the map, we want to find the center point, right, of our 3 staircases. So this is the bottom one, this is the middle one, this is the top one. Right? So we'll find the center one, where you can basically go in each direction without seeing anything, which is not here. It's here. Great. And we will add the first portal, which we made. We will add the first portal right from the center point. We'll add the first one up around the corner. With snapping enabled, it snaps perfectly like that. And you can see if we were to look around that, we could look once around. We can actually make that there if you want. We can place that here. And if we're going to collide with that, we're going to be wanting to be teleported down. Oh, sorry. Going to be teleported down. So just copy that. Down 1 story, just like that. So from here to here. So select that portal. And just as a goal, put the other on. Now you can name these. I will name this BP portal side 1 top. And I will name this BP portal side 1 bottom. Now we do the exact same thing just for the other direction as well. So if we collide with this, we are teleported down there. No, not that far, just down there. And if we go down here, right? So if we collide with one here, just duplicate that. If you collide with that, we want to be teleported up again. Okay, just making sure that aligns. Great. So then we want to be teleported up here again so that we can run down again. So just select that and move it up. So in this case, just again, so check if it's snapping. And then we're going to use this one, take this one, and we're going to ask the target, assign this one. Now name these again. This is our portal side 2, bottom, top, and this is our portal side 2, bottom. Great. So now this should be working already. If you place your player start, so I'm just gonna add a player start over here and just rotate it like that. Make sure you don't have a separate one. Right, okay, I'm stuck on the floor, of course. Right? We can fix that for now. Just temporarily add like 100 on the Z to make it work. But we should already be able to run infinitely down here, right? So you can see I'm not reaching the bottom, but you can obviously see where I teleport because we haven't done that yet. So now for the teleportation itself, to make sense, right? We are going to calculate that local position. And that's pretty easy actually to do. We'll get the location of our player, right? Because we want the location relative to the player. And now if we subtract the location of the portal we're currently in, what we'll get, like the world location of this portal, what we'll get is the relative location of our character to the portal. And if we now add that relative location to the location of our other portal, we will get a perfect location which is aligning the same with the other one for a new portal. And if we just plug this in, that's the entire magic. So if I now collide with that, I should be teleported down, right? And I can walk up a long time. And if I go down, I'm gonna be teleported down again. So there's our illusion basically working, just like that. So you can see I just walk down indefinitely. Now something that will break the illusion, of course, is if I just place a cube here, right? And I just give it like some material. Yeah, that's not working. Some other material, right? And there's this one cube, right? It's not on the other levels. I just try to walk down for some time. And just some more. Some more. So you can tell that I'm being teleported, right? Because the cube's suddenly there. Now, how would you avoid this? Just make sure that the cube with the exact same relative location to the part of the staircase is also there on the level below. Now you can just set the snapping to like 100, which will make it a bit easier to check if that's the case. So just snap it down there. And now that we have it here as well, you cannot tell anymore that it's you're being teleported, right? Because you have it twice, just like that. And that's the entire point of the illusion. I think you should have to have it one floor up as well, but that's fine. Because, you know, I can tell by the light here. Now, another thing to do if you want this to look a bit more seamless is to use baked lights and reflection captures. Because Lumen, even if you give it the same geometry and the same everything, right, it's gonna have to recalculate a short time when you teleport. And that's gonna give you like a short like stutter. I don't think you are able to tell in the compression, but it's there. And if you bake the lights like I've done here, that's gonna kind of eliminate that. Now, baking lights is another like painful thing in Unreal 5, so I can do a video on that if you want. But it's just something that I would do for this sort of illusion to make it work. And in the next video, I can, if you want that, show you how you could do something like over here where you have like this room that you saw in the start, and just ignore that bug. That's just for the first time when it compiles in, right? Where you could have this and then you just walk in and suddenly the wall behind you is back, isn't there anymore, right? Like this sort of stuff you can do as well. And this is just some very simple trickery, right? And here again, all the lights are baked and I'm using reflection captures that are placed at the exact same locations in each like floor part so that I get the exact same like reflections. What I did here as well is I added a small roughness material on this, which is well aligned just to make it a bit more realistic, but that's just something that you can do. The material that I am using looks just like that. There you go. That's the material I'm using. So it's just a well aligned texture and just a roughness map I got from Quixel. I'm just using the green channel as a roughness. It's very, very basic, but it works for giving it some more realism. Post-processing can also help. I haven't done a lot here, but again, just stuff you can play around with. So I hope that you found this useful. It was a bit stitched together, I know, but I think that you should get the idea on how you could create something like this on your own. And I hope you learned something, especially with like the modeling tools. You can see that I made this entire thing without leaving Unreal once, because Unreal is kind of powerful when it comes to that sort of stuff. And you could totally make like an entire game in Unreal without needing any additional tools. If you have any questions, then feel free to ask me in the comments. I will try my best to answer them to you. And if you want to know how you can make more illusions like this, or for example, a room where you kind of turn around and the door you just came for isn't visible anymore, then just let me know. And that will be it with this video.